Hey everyone, welcome back to the Playlist Push YouTube channel where we help artists grow their career step by step, brick by brick. No gimmicks, no hacks, no cheating, the legit way. If you're one of these artists who've had a tough time sustaining their monthly listeners, maybe you're seeing those monthly listeners dip, you're seeing them go down really fast, I'm gonna give you step-by-step process of how you can improve. Some of the biggest steps that you can take are actually completely free, so let's get right into it. Number one is going to be optimize your profile. It's important to, whenever someone comes to your page, whether they come from Instagram, whether they find you on a playlist, that you have context to who you are as a human. You know, you don't want to appear like you're some AI bot creating music. So put a bio in there, link to different artists, link to your social media, only link to channels that you're actually using. You don't need to have Twitter, you don't need to have Facebook, all this other stuff. Instagram's great. If you just link to Instagram, that's totally fine, as long as that's somewhere where you're actually posting content. Number two, this is the easiest, and this is actually one that's free. It doesn't really cost anything other than distribution, and that's to release music consistently. It's important to release music consistently because you can see each song you have is a chance to gain more listeners, right? Each song, let's say you have 200 songs, you have different people listening to each song, that's gonna compound into your monthly listeners, and that's gonna exponentially grow. A lot of artists, they can only manage to put out a few songs per year, but that doesn't really cut it. In the world of Spotify, the platform really thrives off of new. So what you need to do is you just need to plan. You need to have a plan and stick to, 2 to 3 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it is. Stay consistent, because like I said, each song is gonna have different listeners, and that's a chance for it to compound and grow exponentially. Number three is obviously getting on playlists. So at Playlist Push, that's what we do. That's our bread and butter. We help artists get their music on active, independent playlists. And that's really the biggest key. But the most interesting part is, I was just looking at an artist's Spotify for Artists profile, and they ran a campaign with Playlist Push. They got added to around 240 playlists, right, in our network. But they're actually on close to almost 1,500 playlists, because what happens is a lot of people, they hijack songs from other playlists, right? Like that's what I do. Like if I'm listening to a song on a playlist, oh, I like this song, I'm gonna add it to my own playlist that I listen to while I'm at work, while I'm commuting, while I'm working out, hanging out with friends, whatever. So there's kind of a network effect to getting on active playlists, to getting on other playlists that are owned by just other users. And then that can exponentially compound, grow, and eventually trigger Discover Weekly, release Radar. You'll start getting on radio features, because as you're getting added to more of these user playlists, Spotify is basically building a profile for you, who you are, what your music sounds like. So they're gonna start putting you on radio features for bigger artists, and that's gonna exponentially grow as well. The next thing I would say is promote your music on social media. So use short form videos on TikTok. Talk about your songwriting process, tap into memes. As long as you keep putting out content, eventually Instagram or TikTok is gonna start putting you in front of the right people. It's just kind of a numbers game. Easiest thing to do is download CapCut, watch some YouTube tutorials on what works for artists. So tap into that, use social media. The next one is to collaborate with other artists. This one's kind of tough, but obviously if you can collaborate with an artist, let's say you both have 10,000 monthly listeners, boom, you just tapped into their audience. So that's also gonna help you grow a lot. It's also gonna put more context of Spotify knowing who you are as an artist when you collaborate with another artist, and that's gonna speed things up on the editorial side and the algorithm side as far as bigger playlists, like I said, radio feature, custom playlists that Spotify makes, daily mixes, things like that. You'll start showing up in those. The next step is to analyze data. Use a website like Is It a Good Playlist, where you can actually find playlists, you can find curators that have music like yours in their playlist. You can use tools like Chartmetric. Obviously, you can use Spotify for Artists to see what kind of playlists you're getting added on. And when you start getting on these bigger playlists, like I said, you're gonna notice a network effect. So let's say you get on 10 playlists that have some serious traction, you're gonna get on at least 50, 60, maybe 100 more, thousands more, you never know. But that's kind of where it all starts. Just to wrap it up, growing your monthly listeners on Spotify, it's not about magic. It's about just being consistent. It's about continually putting music out, promoting that music. Like I said, each track has its own audience. More tracks, bigger audience, bigger monthly listeners. That's how it works. It's not a magic bullet. It's super easy. But like I said, the easiest one is free, is putting out new music. But obviously that requires the most effort. Put out as much music as you can without sacrificing quality. That's today's YouTube video. Thanks for tuning in. Comment, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. See you next time.